Hey, what's good, self-direct investors? I hope you're doing great, and I want to welcome you to another episode of ETFs Explained. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jordan, and I'm the mind behind Make More Capital, the financial education brand that hopes to make everyone a little bit more financially literate. And today we're going to be talking about the ARK ETFs, which are focused on disruptive innovation and run by none other than one of the most progressive and trailblazing investment managers and mutual fund managers today, Catherine Wood. So we're going to take a look, but first, a few things. If you do enjoy this video at any point, make sure you leave it a like. That helps the channel out a lot. And if you want to see more content like this, you can check out previous ETF videos or cannabis investing media that I've made. But you can subscribe to the channel as well. That would help me out a lot. And if you've not opened up your self-direct investing account, there's a link down below for Questrade and for Wealthsimple Trade. So you can open your self-directed TFSA through those links, and you get a little bit of money for doing so. But that being said, I'm going to stop babbling, and we're going to jump in. Now, the main thing I want to mention first and foremost is that ARK ETFs are actively managed. For the most part, you can see they have actively managed ETFs here, and then below they have indexed innovation. So just to make that less complicated, actively managed, or these are active funds, and then these are their passive funds, which means they're not actively paid attention to and traded every single day. And here, let me just get into this to give you a bit more of an example between active versus passive investing. Now, it's not to say that one is investing and looking at it every day and the other is not, but here's the best way to describe them too, and I'll give you the examples of each going forward. Active investing requires a hands-on approach, typically by a portfolio manager or other so-called active participants. So you've got someone actively watching over the fund and trying to make different decisions to beat the market and get you better returns. But of course, there's a fee for doing so. Whereas passive investing involves less buying and selling and often results in investors buying index funds and other mutual funds. So passive investing would again be referring to passive funds, which would be passive mutual funds, index funds, or passive exchange traded funds. Now, both styles of investing are beneficial, and passive investments have garnered more investment flows than active investments, just because over time, I'll show you, passive funds typically do better than active funds stretched out over long periods of time. So it's easier to actually just invest your money in passive funds, add a little bit every month and just forget about it. And you just know that over time, you're going to get better returns than trying to go with a manager who's going to sell you that he's going to beat the market every single year, which just over long periods of time, it doesn't happen. And there's data to prove that. I'll get to that. But historically, passive investments have earned more money than active, and again, that's just backing up what I said before. And active investing has become more popular than it has in several years, particularly during market upheavals, because ARK ETFs is a great example of active funds that are worth investing in. And these are honestly the only ones that I've found that I'm showcasing, and that is exactly why I'm making this video. Because if you look at the average MER, this is the fee in Canada, for active mutual funds, 2.53%, unfortunately, you will never be able to retire, no matter how long you keep your money invested for, and no matter how much you actually invest at this fee, because that's going to pay the sales rep financial advisor at the local bank that you likely got sold these funds through. It's going to pay the different fund managers within the bank, and excuse me, just these generic active mutual funds are what you want to stay away from. You want to at least have your money growing for you in passive ETFs, unless though there are, you can find ETFs that you trust are ran by good managers and a good team. And of course, the other important thing though is that the average annual returns over time, the returns you're making on your money, far outweighs the average fee. And we will get into that going forward. But I just wanted to show you as well 3 things that Morningstar has to say about active and passive funds. So which fund types has increased success rates? Well, let's just tell you the facts about it. 1, active fund success rates increased since this time last year in 11 of 20 categories we examined. So that's good. All that means, though, is it's a year-over-year increase. And I mean, honestly, last year, the S&P 500 returned about 30%. So you would have almost done better having your money in a passive fund last year than any of these active funds. But nonetheless, 1 year difference showed improvements. But the other main thing is that 2020 has been with the coronavirus, it's been a tough year for the market. So, if you didn't make a lot of trades in January and February and had cash to buy heavy in March, you'd be up pretty much regardless as long as you invest in the market. But success rates spiked among active U.S. mid-cap and small-cap blend and growth funds as shown by the chart below. This is just another example. If you want to get into the nitty-gritty of active funds, there are so many to choose from. But of course, you will always see more growth out of mid and small cap, because if a company is already worth 100 billion, it's going to take them a lot more money and time, or it's just going to be harder for them to get to 200 billion versus a company that's worth 100 million. It's a lot easier for them to actually get to 200 million just because it's much smaller scale. But this is the last thing that, again, is worth showing. In general, actively managed funds have failed to survive and beat their benchmarks, especially over long time horizons. So that is why all the ETFs I featured in the past are passive ETFs. And just to give you that example, Buffett made a bet with a hedge fund. He said, look, over a decade from 2008 to 2018, let's put $1 million down. I'll put it in the S&P 500. You try to beat the market with it, and we'll see who wins in a decade. And of course, if you go through it, I would just recommend, if you want to look more into this, Warren Buffett hedge fund bet. But as you can see, over the 10 years year 9 cumulatively, the index fund just was superior. It returned 85.4%. Now, nonetheless, this is also rebounding off of the 2008 Great Recession, so that is something to consider. But nonetheless, it's easy. What I believe and what I've come to understand is that it's almost easier to just sleep at night if you know that your money is in here and doing what it needs to over long periods of time, so that when you need it, you'll have what you need when you get there, which is essentially money invested in dividend-paying assets that will hopefully pay that will pay your living later on in life. But the main reason why I'm bringing on these ARK ETFs is because they have caught my eye. They are attractive for some reasons, and that is mainly just because the very low MER for active funds, but of course just how progressive and fearless Catherine Wood is in her investment strategies, taking on ARK Innovation, autonomous technology and robotics, next generation internet, genomic revolution, so bio, pharma, I guess, and fintech. Anyways, basically looking very far ahead into the future and trying to get into these new industries that are going to see fast growth, and that's why I want to feature them. And this ARK ETFs, I didn't know about them until earlier on in the year. And they were actually covered on my friend's channel, Griffin Milks. You can find another video where he breaks them down as well, but they're recognized by Fund Intelligence in the mutual fund industry and rewarded for their great results. So I won't waste any more time. We will dive into this, but I just wanted to show you again, Catherine Wood. She is the trailblazing woman leading this team, but they also have a very adaptable team that has actually thrived from working remotely. And you can see, a lot about their team here. Their website has a lot of great information. So you can actually go through all of their processes, differences, and why you want to consider innovation. And I mean, I don't think I need to explain this. Things are changing faster than ever, so it's more important now that, imagine people thinking in the 90s or people thinking in the late 2000s. I wish I would have invested in Apple or Amazon or something like that. Well, this is the type of growth you get by looking that far into the future and seeing what's coming that the masses aren't even paying attention to. So I'm going to go through them quickly, though, just because I don't want to waste too much of your time, but I just want to show you the main highlights and what makes these so attractive. So the fund details, ARKK, these you will have to purchase in US dollars, most likely. They will not be available on Canadian exchanges. So this first one, ARK Innovation, it defines disruptive innovation is, of course, them breaking into the technologically enabled new products and services that will change the way the world works. And these are going to come. So the nice thing about this first one, ARKK, why invest in this one? It's focused on ARK's belief that innovation is key to growth. So again, it's that idea of investing in companies that are way ahead. Now, this one trades on the New York Stock Exchange. But again, the main difference, folks, is that this is an active equity ETF. So keep in mind, passive ETFs have extremely low fees, and I did keep these in here for reference. VOO, 0.03% annually, so the fee is extremely low. VFE 0.09, so this is the passive fee that you're going to get. But, so then, just to show that this is active, look at the expense ratio. It's not a ton higher or anywhere close to the average MER in Canada of 2.53%. That is why when I actually saw these ETFs, I thought it would be worth showcasing, because these are the only active ones I found that, have the courage to get as progressive and into the new technology as possible, but then also have a fairly reasonable expense ratio. Now, the thing is, I don't own any of these yet, and I do not plan on buying them anytime soon. However, learning about them has made me quite interested in them. So I just recommend, especially for any US investors or Canadians that want to get into some very progressive investments. I'm personally focusing on the cannabis industry myself, and that's just my business. However, I'm not weighing out the fact that I may invest in some of these going forward. But here, I'll stop babbling and we'll go through it all. The expense ratio for these active funds is 0.75. And so net assets invested, they have $8.9 billion invested in here. And again, Catherine D. Wood is the portfolio manager. So the net asset value is $98.56. So it's actually trading at a bit of a premium right now. The market price is $98.63. So it's a little bit expensive than the net asset value, which is the total assets minus liabilities inside of the fund. Now, if we look though, I only found out about ARK ETFs this year, but they've been going strong for over 5 years. So I think it's great to know that this opportunity is out there. So you can always just add some of these to your watch lists. But if we look at all time since 2015, since inception, it appears, these funds were introduced at about $20 and now they're upwards to about $100. So, in that span of since 2015, you would have nearly compounded your money 5 times, 20 up until 100 almost. And let's see what companies are inside of it. So again, very bullish, and especially this year, a lot of people, honestly, fundamentally, Tesla, I don't know how they're valued at what they're at. I know a lot of people were watching them before in September and August when they were seeing crazy growth, but Tesla is, I think, heavily weighted in a lot of these ETFs. So again, they're very forward-thinking, but Invitae Corp, Square Inc., Roku, CRISPR Technologies, Protolabs, Slack Technologies, LendingTree, 2U, and Zillow. These are the top 10 holdings. And then so if we look at this past 3 months performance, you can see that this year's just been so exceptional because I think, in March when everyone was terrified and selling their investments, if anything, Catherine Wood knew to really start buying in hard and heavy because so far this year they're up 83%, which is pretty impressive. 1 year, 115%, 3 years, 41.39%, but over 5 years, stretched out, they're up 39.20%. And then since inception, 2015, 30.97%. So the one other thing I was looking for that I just cannot seem to find is how many holdings are inside of here. So, of course, if we click view all of them, we'll see that there are 49. Okay, which is nice. So there's 49. It is quite diversified as well. But that is it for the first one, ARKK, which is the ARK Innovation ETF. And I just wanted to show you this actually because, again, the main thing with these funds, whether it's active, whether it's passive, the idea is just to invest, at a price that you want to get in at, or at least get in the market, but keep adding a little bit of money to it over time if you can. I think that's the easiest way that, you don't need a ton of money now to invest and you can build this position over time. But the main thing you want to look for is that the average annual return subtracted by the fee is a return you're happy with over long periods of time. And again, these are the only active funds that I've found that have come close to these types of returns consistently and then charge this low of an MER. And the main reason in Canada, if you invest in active mutual funds through through a referral from a friend or something like that, excuse me, you're investing in active funds that typically are only going to perform 5 to 7%, maybe even upwards to 10% in its best year. But over the long periods of time, it's very difficult for active funds to beat the market, and that is why it makes more sense if we look at VOO here, just again as the comparison. Since inception, it's done 14.13%. Subtract this extremely low MER, 0.03. 14%. So you're making double your money with ARK ETFs, but at least your peace of mind is that your money's invested passively in the market. You don't have to worry about it. You can sleep well at night, and 14% is still great. Now, obviously, if you want higher returns, ARK ETFs are a great investment to consider, but it's ultimately going to be up to you and what fits your personal investing style. So that is something to consider before investing. But let's jump into the autonomous technology one. This one is ARKQ, and this one seeks to give you exposure into autonomous vehicles, energy storage, robotics and automation, 3D printing, and space exploration. So again, very different from the other one that we've covered. This one is not on the New York Stock Exchange. It's on a smaller one, but again, it has to be purchased in US dollars. Now this one, again, the expense ratio is 0.75. So, 0.75 over long periods of time is still a lot of money. So it just goes to show how confident Catherine Wood is in her strategies and, in the future of these industries. But if you want exposure into these top 5 ones, especially, this seems to be the best one for you. So if we look, this one is priced a lot lower at $60.49 a share. And this one, again, in 2015 was also introduced at around $20 a share. So this one, you would have seen your money triple, at least. So if we look since inception, it has not done as well as the other one. But again, I think all of these ETFs will have done exceptionally well this year because they were not afraid to keep investing when others were. But since inception, 20.24 minus that 0.75, you're still keeping 19% in gains, and that's pretty impressive. So that's certainly something to consider because you won't find many active funds that are doing this well every year. But again, long term, we don't actually have the data yet to see, if over 20 years ARK ETFs are going to do better than passive ETFs. So, there's the data in the past that tell us that passive funds do better, but we'll just have to keep an eye on these because this is current. So we'll see in 5 years, 10 years, and get a better idea of how well these funds manage to do over time. But inside this one, again, Tesla, of course, because it's focused on the cars, Materialize, NV, 2U Inc., Zelinix, I think, Alphabet, JD.com, Deere & Co., Proto Labs, Kratos Defense and Security, and Trimble Inc. They're still getting over 19%, which is fantastic. Now, we'll jump over to the next one, next generation internet ETFs. This one, why would you want to invest here? Get exposure into next generation of internet, which we don't see right now, but this will be AI, big data, cloud computing, cybersecurity, and blockchain technology. This one is on the New York Stock Exchange, so seems like a lot more money is probably going into this one, and it has a slightly higher expense ratio of 0.76. And this, again, gets into cloud computing and cybersecurity, e-commerce, big data and AI, mobile technology and Internet of Things, social platforms, blockchain as well. Now this one is up to about $118 since inception, which I'm going to guess again is at 20%. So this one has actually compounded 6 times since 2015. So again, wow, very fortunate. These investors that knew about these funds in 2015 would have seriously gotten a great advantage, especially here. But again, this past year up 123%. You can't really find that anywhere else. It's wild. And then over the last 3 years, though, 45%, and 5 years, 43%. So again, since inception, 36.28. So we'll try this one more time, 36.28 to redeem myself, minus 0.76 equals 35.52. So if you're getting that return, consistently over time, you've been doing it right. Unfortunately, though, if you're not in these ETFs, you might want to wait for a bit of a pullback and a dip just because obviously these have been running for a long time and they have seen their best years, as you can see. Now, ARKG, is the Genomic Revolution ETF, which is exposure to CRISPR, gene editing, therapeutics, agricultural biology, healthcare innovation. So again, these are new industries that would require quite a bit of learning in themselves to get introduced to them, but they will be coming most likely based on the expertise of what these fund managers see and the fact that so much is going on around us that we don't necessarily see unless we look for it. This one, again, has that 0.75 MER. This one does not trade on the New York Stock Exchange. Trades on the CBOE EZX exchange. And let's see, this one is priced in currently at $71.05. And again, was released in 2015 at about $20. So this one has seen about 3.5 times your money since then, as 20, 40, 60, up to 70 nearly. Let's see how this one has done since inception. Only 22.9. But this past year, again, significant gains because likely investing more and more as opposed to selling and holding strong throughout the year. Inside this one, we have Invitae Corp, CRISPR Therapeutics, Pacific Bioscience of California, Arcturus Therapeutics Holdings, Twisted Bioscience, Caradex, Iovance Biotherapeutics, Personalis, Series Therapeutics, Exact Sciences. And honestly, I've never heard of a lot of these companies. CRISPR is the main one I have. So of course, you can choose to look into each of these individual holdings if you'd like to find out more about them, because I guarantee you a lot of these companies, not all of them are going to succeed and be the next big, tech company or anything like that, but definitely worth paying attention to them. And this one has 47 companies inside of it for the diversification. And then FinTech Innovation ETF. Just wanted to jump in here, and this is my favorite actually. Financial technology, exposure to fintech innovations like mobile payments, digital wallets, peer-to-peer lending, blockchain technology, and risk transformation. This one does trade on the New York Stock Exchange as well. And this one we'll see is invested in like PayPal, Square, a lot of these, and I imagine there's going to be a lot more blockchain heavy in this one. But this fee is 0.75 as well. So let's jump in and see what it's invested in. So this one was only created in 2019. I do apologize. I did not actually check the date on all of these ETFs, so it's possible that I might have just made a mistake and said that they've, doubled their money or grew at a faster pace than some of the others. But since 2019, this was introduced and it at least has doubled, so that is a fact. Looking at this one, since inception, 51.87%. That's amazing. I wish I knew about these ETFs before. I didn't, but at least we do know about them now, so we can keep an eye on them. Past 3 months, it's done 25.16%. Year to date, up 65%. Since last year at this point, 86.2%. What's in it? Square, Mercado Libre, Pinterest, Tencent Holdings, Alibaba, Adyen, LendingTree, Intercontinental Exchange, Zillow. Let's see if they do have PayPal. I would imagine they would, just because PayPal's number 11 on here. Snap, Amazon, Apple. See a lot of the big tech companies in here as well. Taiwan Semiconductor, yeah. So this one is the same kind of thing. 47 companies inside to spread the diversification around, but this is just, you can't compete with this. 51.87 since inception. Now again, it's only been it's only been in operation or trading for 2 years. But you'd have doubled your money in the span of 2 years if you invested right when it was created. So it's just great to see that there are actually funds that are doing this amount, and seriously worth considering getting into. I might have to consider getting into them as well. Now, I'm actually going to save these for another ETF video, but I just wanted to walk through these active ones, and just show you the comparison as well. I mean, main thing is that these will help you sleep at night knowing that you're invested in, the top 500 companies in the US, and that they are passive, which means the funds inside of it don't change much. The companies that created them just put pieces of everything inside, and then on the date it was created, they set it to rise. Whereas Cathie Wood is actively making adjustments to these ETFs in order to optimize them and produce the best results. And for the fee that they're charging, 0.75, again, compared to active mutual fund fees in Canada, you cannot beat that. Amazing. So that's what I wanted to show you today, folks. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments. Are you invested in any ARK ETFs? And if so, please share some of your wins with me, because, it's just good to know that these are out there and we can now pay attention to them and add them to our watch list. But nonetheless, if you enjoyed this video, everyone, please make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you got some value from this video. There will be many more videos coming through. I'll be doing This Week in Cannabis every Sunday going forward, and new ETF breakdowns every single Wednesday. So you'll have 2 videos a week, and I would really appreciate if you can do that. It helps my channel a lot, but I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you for the next video. Take care, everyone.